Hi guys, it's James here from the Old Guard Wargames Club. We were supposed to be putting on a game at the show this weekend, so just basically taking the opportunity to show off what we had planned to do. As I said, my name's James. I'm the father of Joshua McMillan. Joshua unfortunately was stillborn in September, the end of September last year, just short of 36 weeks through the pregnancy. Whilst still in hospital and going through everything that we were going through, I decided I wanted to raise some money using the hobby and try and raise some money for both the NHS Trust where we were in Middlesbrough, Stockton, and also for the charity who provided us with our memory box and a few other bits and pieces which, as a parent in those circumstances, you never think about having to need or want. So we were extremely appreciative of having that. Someone else had thought of that for us, and that charity, I always pronounce it wrong. I believe it's for Louis or Lewis or Louise. I'm not entirely sure which version it is, but I call it for Louis, but I'm not entirely sure that's correct. So this is a project, a 10mm fantasy project, Good versus Evil. It features models which were purchased, painted and donated by more than a dozen wargamers from more than 5 countries to raise money in honour of Joshua. I'll just zoom out a bit so as you can actually see what's on the table here. So we have on the left side the undead and the bad guys basically. And over on the other side we have the goodies are ever so slightly outnumbered, although I haven't put everything on the table. As you can see, there's some trays at the back that still have figures in them. The request I put out via YouTube video back in October, I believe. Might have been November. That whole period is obviously a bit of a blur. But my friends at the Old Guard Wargames Club all came through. They've all purchased, painted and donated armies. I've still got a couple of armies to get because lockdown has prevented us from meeting up. But everybody at the club basically did something, of which I'm hugely appreciative. As well as the club, I've had figures sent from as far afield as Canada and from America. I've had friends in Australia who've also donated. Since it's a bit far for them to post figures, they've also donated money towards the project so that figures could be purchased and painted by others. So it's quite a massive turnout. The idea was to use To the Strongest rules with a few tweaks to represent a fantasy battle. Obviously, the only terrain element I have just now is the mat and the Stonehenge. There were other bits and pieces, but with lockdown and everything being on hold, I don't have them. They're currently scattered across the northeast and of England, I should say. And I'm not entirely sure that going to collect them would class as an essential journey, so we've kind of kept everything separate at the moment. There are all sorts of troops here from all sorts of manufacturers. We have been hugely supported as a club in this project by Pendraken. Leon has been absolutely fantastic, great guy. He's been doing some great work during the lockdown as well with producing materials, PPE material for various care homes and such. But he also donated figures to us for this project, gave us a discount on the figures that we were purchasing, gave us a free copy of his 10mm fantasy rules warband, and just really has been hugely supportive. The plan had been that we were going to show this collection off through a participation game at a couple of shows across the UK this year. But obviously, that has all been absolutely hit on the head along with everything else that anyone else was planning to do. So we're going to have to revisit the timeline and see where we're at. The basic concept for this participation game is that there would be a henge in the centre with a ritual crew who are over here. these guys. They would be doing a ritual in order to disperse the necromantic magic that was powering the necromancer's army. The basic concept is that you have constant waves of undead coming from three sides, with the Stonehenge in kind of the centre, defended by a select group of the goodies. The goodies are better rated troops, but there's few of them compared to the poorly rated troops, but a lot of baddies. And basically for every undead unit or enemy unit that's destroyed, the ritual circle powers up by 1 point, and at the end of each turn the players have to roll 2d6 and beat a certain score, adding +1 for every unit that they've destroyed, basically. So that was the ins and outs of it. Pretty simple, but it was quite a quick play, fun game, and it was just really to demonstrate the models. In the collection here then, I have everything from undead, skeletons, ghosts, rat men, barbarians, lizard men, more undead, barbarians on mammoths, minotaurs, orcs and goblins. We have dark elves at the front, dinosaurs being ridden by lizardmen, ogres, giants, lizardmen cavalry, dark elf spear blocks, dark elf troops, goblins, more undead, and then more undead and lizardmen and such in the boxes at the back. And on the other side we have some friendly minotaurs, human archers, human knights, centaur cavalry of various different types. We have dwarven guns, dwarven infantry, human chariots, human cavalry. We have human pike blocks and infantry blocks, elven cavalry, Pegasus knights, and just an impressive collection. And said there's some more goodies, but it's mainly baddies in the boxes at the back. So basically that's the whole hoard that we have. There's still some stuff to come that's either held up in the post or is awaiting a chance that we can actually meet and things can be passed on. I've been utterly blown away by everyone's generosity. As a gamer myself, I know that the number one thing that people can donate is their time. Obviously money's a factor, but everyone nowadays is limited by time, so for people to have spent the time just in memory of my little boy, it's been fantastic, and it's very, very much appreciated. So yes, the plan then is at some point we're going to raffle off two armies, opposing armies basically, human knights and such versus undead, along with the mat and the rules and dice and all that sort of stuff. We're then going to auction off the remaining forces because there's too many of them now for it to be worthwhile to include stuff in a raffle. So in order to kind of maximise the money that we make for charity, that's the plan. Our timeline has been slightly thrown out due to the current crisis, so whether things have to be delayed until next year now, I'm not sure. But we were hoping to hold the raffle in November at the Battleground show in Stockton. Having displayed the collection, excuse the boxes and stuff, I'm in my spare room, but having displayed the collection at a couple of shows this year which have all been cancelled. So yes, that's us. Big thanks go to the Northallerton Wargames Club. We meet in both Billingham and Northallerton on a fairly regular basis when we're not all confined to quarters. If anyone wants any details on that, drop me a line. And big thanks as well go to Martin and Dave, who have just supported me fantastically throughout a very challenging time, and who have really pushed me to kind of continue with the project when things were a bit grim. So thanks guys. And that's me. Thanks very much everyone. Hope everyone's staying safe, and until we all see each other at another show at some point in the future, take care.